It'd be good if you could start finding a place to sit, start getting your tables and mingling amongst each other at the tables would be great, and we'll get underway. Is that better?
Last night I fell asleep.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Iron Dog Buffet. We're going to get going here. So everybody take a seat, please. Or if you're waiting for a drink, that's fine. I'd like to welcome everybody to the 2022 Iron Dog ceremonies. My name is Beagle Jarvis, and we're going to get things underway right now, I guess. A couple things have changed. A lot has changed this year from the Iron Dog, from what we've seen in the past. And one big change is we're at the Menard Center starting here. And a lot of people have asked me and come across to Iron Dog, and why are we starting here and why isn't it going to be in Big Lake? The big thing is we can really appreciate our sponsors and really acknowledge them here. And you'll see that when we get to the prize purse this year, and it will reflect on that, how much sponsors have stepped in. The new people that have joined with Iron Dog to team up for the prize, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be an incredible race. MTA and Doyon Gold have helped us out throughout the years, and this year they're right back at it again. It's just going to be a phenomenal, absolute phenomenal race. I've talked with Dietrich. A lot of you guys know him, is Nikolai Dietrich. He's been on the trail handling the fuel. He said he's never seen as much snow as there is in the burn this year. Also, Sullivan Creek, he said he was there for 7 hours. He's been freighting fuel up for us. He took a little detour in Sullivan Creek for about 7 hours trying to get through. So he said the snow in the burn in that area is incredible. You won't have to worry about bungee cord, your side panels to your rig. It's just going to be awesome. So there's a lot of snow out there. I personally live on Big Lake, and to drive on the road right now is a super sketch fest. However, where the trail goes, I mean, it's been groomed all year, and it's pretty good. It's packed down pretty good. The driveway crossings, you're going to encounter a little water there, but, I mean, for the most part, Big Lake is looking good as far as the trail. If you live on Big Lake and you got to drive on it, it's nuts. I'll show you pictures and videos. But without further ado, I would like to bring up Blake Elder from Team 30, and he's going to lead us in a prayer. Blake?
Thank you. All right, please take off your hats and bow your heads with me. Father God, we're so thankful for this opportunity to run this great race. Thank you for all of the volunteers and all of the team at the Iron Dog crew who put this together. We pray that you would bless them, help them get some sleep. We pray that you would bless us as the racers, help us to have a safe trip and a fun trip, and that everybody would get back in one piece. Thank you so much for this opportunity to run this amazing race. Amen.
Thank you, Blake. Okay, what I'd like to do is you guys are free to start the buffet and head over there, get your food, and start eating, and we'll get right back on with the program after. It should be around 7. Well, we're running a little bit behind schedule because I was slacking, but we'll get right back at it after you get your dinner in you. And if you have any questions or want me to give a special shout out to anybody during the night, let me know, and I'll make sure that happens. For the meantime, enjoy your meal, and I'll be back shortly. actually jumped the gun, and the servers are not ready. The food is not ready. So I'm ready to eat, but they weren't. So give us about 15 minutes, and you can go right over there, and they'll be all set. Sorry for the confusion. Hello, everyone, and welcome again. My name is Beagle Jarvis, and I would like to welcome you to the 2022 Iron Dog Award Ceremony. We are going to start the buffet now, and I would like to call the Hall of Fame members to the buffet first to start us off. So if you're in the Hall of Fame or going in the Hall of Fame, help yourself to the buffet, and then we'll follow on. Thank you. Hello again, everyone. How was that meal? Awesome. If there's anybody that's still hungry, there's plenty of food left on both sides, so go ahead and make another round. Now, if you're racing, you might want to watch yourself, but if you're not, help yourself any side. We're going to continue with our program. And what I'd like to do now is I'd like to take the time right now to introduce our director for Iron Dog. Would everybody please give a big Alaskan welcome for our executive director, Bobby Mean. Bobby? I'm going to turn the microphone over to Bobby, and he's going to say a little bit about the event tonight and what's going on. Bobby?
Thanks, Beagle. Thanks, everybody, for coming. This is my first Iron Dog, so bear with us, I guess. Trying to put on a good show for all you folks, and really appreciate the turnout tonight. It's really impressive. Thank you. And all you guys did a heck of a job today at the tech inspection. It went flawlessly and all that, so you're all professionals, and it sure looks like it. So I wanted to thank a few people in attendance, some of our board members. We've got Mike Vassar here. Mike, can you stand up? Oh, there he is. John Andre, another one of our board members. Mike, did Doug make it or not? No? Okay. I think that's all we... Oh, okay. Jake Goodell, can you stand up, please? Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. You know, a lot of our board members, they put in a lot of hours and stuff, and Jake's been putting in a lot of hours the last few days, and we appreciate that, Jake. Thank you. Some of our volunteers that need a call out. They do an awful lot for us. Kelly and I are the only paid people that work for Iron Dog. And to pull this race off, we need a lot of help, okay? There's just no question about it. So some of the volunteers that help us out is Heidi Upshaw. Heidi, are you here? Thank you, Heidi. Sarah Smith. Sarah, where are you at? Stand up, Sarah. You've done an awful lot for us the last few days. Thank you. Penny and Dave McKibben, they're not here. They've been here most of the days that you guys have been around, but I want to thank Dave and Penny. Jared Vaughn and Mark Vaughn. I don't know if they're here right now or not, but Dan Paris. They're not here right now. Okay. Steve Swenson, our head race marshal. Steve, thank you. Tim Jalua. Tim, can you stand up, please? Steve won't, but thank you, Tim. Tyson Johnson. Tyson's helping us out this year in the race marshal. Thank you, Tyson. Dave Bathke. Dave's in part of our tech this morning. I don't know if Dave made it back to the banquet tonight or not, but Dave set up everything for the tech this morning, and it ran flawlessly, so thank you, Dave. And then Megan Rollinger. Megan, please stand up. Megan's the photographer, and she's taking care of all the pictures, so please smile when you say Megan. And then I want to have a special thanks out to Corey at Team CC and Dave Cruz and his crew. They put in a lot of time the last several days marking the trail out the Big Lake. There was a lot of work involved with that. They had to clean some trees and brush and a lot of different things out, so we wanted to make sure the trail out to Big Lake ran smoothly. So I can't thank you enough, Corey and Dave. From everybody I've talked to, the trail is very impressive out to Big Lake. So if you guys got any questions on that after tomorrow, I doubt it from what I'm hearing. So that's all I've got to say, and Beagle, you can have the mic again. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to give a special thank you to MTA that provided our meal for us, and also Red Dog Mine. Where's the people from Red Dog Mine? Right here. Lori and her whole crew is here. MTA, you're going to notice it when we get to the prize purse, how much larger it is, and that's because MTA paid for all the meals tonight. So that's helping us again. Just a quick overview of what's going on is we've got the awards tonight. We're going to do the inductees for the Hall of Fame, and then we're going to go racing on Saturday, 10 o'clock, I believe. We're going to try to send the first teams out. I don't want to get too much into the race directors category, so I'm just going to call it at 10 o'clock on Saturday. Then we're going to meet at the halfway point in Nome. I'm going to Nome for the first time ever. And I've been all over Facebook getting a hold of my friends and such like that, telling them I'm coming up. And it turns out I thought I knew a bunch of people in Nome. They're all in Kotzebue, and they all work for Red Dog. So it's kind of cool to have that opportunity to be involved in this aspect of it. We've got a ton of sponsors. I'm going to look. We haven't had really like a format to go over the sponsors. So it's in our book, but it goes a long ways being involved in so far in motorsports like I have. So just bear with me, and I'm going to go down this list of sponsors because it's absolutely awesome. If they weren't here, if these people didn't put in the money that they have this year, we'd not been able to have this race that we're going to have, the Iron Dog. So it's Donlin Gold, MTA, Climb, Hatcher's Pass, Capstone Clinic, the Lions Club out of Nome, out of the Bering Sea, Trek, Red Dog, Northern Air Cargo, Alaska Airlines, Fine Line Interiors, Crowley Specialized, Crowley Fuels, Fine Line Interiors, Lube Tech, Life Med, AIH, EMC, Davis Block. Where's the Davis Block people? Hold on, let me put my glasses on. There you are. Corey, thank you. Thanks for helping us out. White Spruce, the Menard Center, Alaska E-Bike, Eagle River, Polaris and Articat, Everett, Stud Boy, Woody's Traction Products, Subway, Air National Guard, the Army National Guard, Spinard Builders, Right Air Service, Nova Minerals, Napa, the City of Kotzebue. We got, there's a brand new sponsor that just came into the picture this year. They're called Quintillion. Quintillion, is that correct? Quintillion? They are a massive sponsor. Quintillion, if you don't know who they are, they're the undersea people that put the fiber optic in under the ocean, and they have donated a ton of money to Iron Dog this year. Air Transit, Debringham Properties. I lost my spot, so I'll probably repeat some. Yeah, I'm going to have to stop at that one. Rainy Pass Lodge. These aren't my right glasses. I apologize. I broke them, and the lens fell out, and I'm just a mess up here. So I can't see these. I need a magnifying glass. And then I'm looking, but I'll make it up to everybody, I promise. If I could tell some jokes, that would lighten the thing up, but no, I'm not going to do that. All right. We're going to keep moving on with the program. What I'm going to do is I would like to get our Hall of Fame members and our Hall of Fame inductees. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to call Eric Quam up. Eric, are you here? All right, here we go. Eric Quam.
Well, let's go back to a few years ago when I started the Iron Dog in 1999. That was my first year and also Mark McKenna's first year. And basically Jack Clam and I went, and that was my first partner for the Iron Dog. And we did 3 years of Iron Dog. We got up through 2001, and we were getting ready for the 2002 race, Jack and I had gotten a little bit of sponsorship from Polaris Industries. We got a B-team ride. Well, in those 3 years, I'd been keeping track of every penny that we had spent towards the Iron Dog, and I kind of let Jack know, yeah, this is what we spent. And Jack, we're coming up, and I'm like, okay, we got to pay for sleds and for the Polaris B team ride. And Jack's like, man, we have spent a lot of money on the Iron Dog. He's like, man, Eric, I just can't. I don't want to afford to do the Iron Dog. So I'm 2 days away from having to pay for sleds if I'm going to do the Iron Dog, and I got to find a new partner. And I'm going, okay. Well, doing a little math, I'm looking through the Iron Dog, going through the teams of who I knew might be looking for a partner. And I'm going down, and I'm kind of going through the list, and you know, Mark McKenna's name comes up, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, okay, well, yeah, Mark was really fast. I could see in his times he was really fast in the high-speed running, and it seemed like I think I was a little stronger in the trees and the bump sections. I'm like, okay, this might be a possibility, a good option. I knew Mark loved going with Mark Torkelson, and Mark Torkelson was his partner, but Mark would only ride Yamahas. And in those day and age, the Yamahas went 84 mile an hour top speed. And I knew McKenna was very frustrated with the 84 mile an hour. Is that all he could do in the high speed running? And so I said, well, okay, I'll give him a call. So I call him up, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm asking a guy to write a check for a bunch of sleds, and it's only 2 days away that he's got to do this. And he's like, no problem. Yep, I'm ready to make a swap. And so next thing you know, I met up with his mother, got a check for the sleds. We got Polaris paid off for the B team ride. And, you know, a couple months go by, and now it's our going out riding. So it's our first ride. Well, we kind of take off out of Big Lake, and so I sort of led the first part of the day. And this is another thing about Mark McKenna you'll learn. Mark always does better the later in the day. He gets stronger as the day goes on. So I led us going out, and then Mark's leading us coming back in. So this is our first ride. Coming back in, come across Cow Lake, going down the Iron Dog Trail. Before you get to the Little Sioux there's this little gully. Anyways, Mark smokes across it, and you had to go early part of the season. It's not full of snow, and you kind of have to go over there to the right to go around it. Well, I come down around it, and I see this track that went kind of straight across, and I'm like, looks like Mark just went straight across that gully. Well, anyways, we get up the trail a little ways, and we stop, and we get to looking. In the back of this brand new sled, the tunnel is wrinkled because he kind of cased it across that gully and wrinkled up our brand new sled. I'm like, this is an interesting start to our partnership here. First ride. Next thing you know, we got this snow machine tied between our two pickups with a come along, and we're pulling it straight and back out with a 5-pound sledge beating this tunnel back straight. So anyways, that was kind of the start of our partnership in '02. Another little tidbit about Mark McKenna is everyone was telling me, oh, he's crazy. He's just absolutely crazy, you know, and he just rides wide open. He's crazy. So I think it was our second ride. We're running up the river, and we're getting it. I'm letting Mark ride up the river hot, you know. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to learn from him or try to learn from him. And we're going in a flat light, and I hate the flat light. We're cruising along, and I'm right on his bumper and following him, and then I can't see anything. And all of a sudden, I see this taillight come on. And I'm like, And the next thing you know, boom, I hit the bump. I'm like, he saw that bump. I never saw it, but he could see it. That's another tidbit of Mark McKenna. He can see better in the flat light than the mere mortal. I mean, he just has that talent. That's his God-given talent. One other little tidbit that I'll say is the competitive drive here. So that first year together, we were trying to break a different trail into Pontilla. Anyways, a different route. And the snow was gnarly deep, and we were trying to do it with our short tracks, and we're not having a lot of success. And he's like, well, my brother's got a Mountain Max 700. We'll just take the Mountain Max up there. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, let's take the Mountain Max. So we kind of cruise up there, and we're breaking trail, and we kind of went up the river a little hot, and there was a few paddles missing off the track. I'm like, okay, so Mark, on the way back, we need to slow down. We need to make sure Matty is never going to let us take his sled again if we destroy this thing. Mark can't go slow. We were coming back down the river, and I'm kind of cruising down the river. He does not like to follow, so he's wide open. Paddles are flying off this track. That track was completely bald when we got back to Big Lake. It was a bad thing. Mark does not like to follow, and he doesn't like to be left behind, so it doesn't matter. He was like, I'll just buy another damn track. But anyways, I won't bore you with more stories, but just get an introduction to Mark McKenna.
Stay up here, Eric. You can give him this. Okay, I was going to call another Hall of Fame member up, but I think we'll take care of one at a time. And with that being said, Mark, Eric, come on down here, and we'll call Mark up. And I think for me to hand him that wouldn't mean much, but for you to hand it to him, that'll be something special. So, Mark McKenna. Congratulations, Mark. You're going in the Iron Dog Hall of Fame. Mark, you want to say anything?
I'll say a little bit here. Is it on? There we go. Yeah. How's everybody going? It's been kind of weird. Since I kind of quit Iron Dog, I haven't been around in the last 7 years, so it's nice to see everybody and see that this race is still going. It's kind of hard to be around it when you know you could still be doing it, and that's kind of why I've been stepped away. But a lot of good friends here, a lot of good memories. I got a short list of people I want to thank. First is my brother. Most know he spent more than a small fortune supporting me doing this race, to put it mildly. And I want to thank Matthew for that. Through Iron Dog, you meet a lot of people, and I've met a ton of Eric, Tyler, Nick, Tyson, Dusty, you name it. But I met my wife, and that's been the best part of it for me. Where are you, babe? So as I got racing my first year, I didn't have much luck my first year. And Mark Torkelson, for some reason, took a liking to me and took me under his wing. And I was lucky enough to race with Mark Torkelson for 2 years. And I had a lot of fun with Mark. Was a great friend. He was a great racer. And I was fortunate enough to learn a lot from him. And then I met Eric here, the smartest guy in the room, by far. We had a lot of fun. We were total opposites, but we had a lot of fun, and I cherish those memories, and we did good together. We did really good together. The next, when Eric had hurt his leg, and right before the race, I get an 18-year-old Tyler Ackelstead to go with me, and he backed me up 110, probably 120%. And we had a blast. We might not have won that year, but we kicked everyone's ass all the way for 1,500 miles. And if you remember it like I do, we did. And the next year, I think Tyler was still in high school. So Nick Olstad was introduced to me by Mark Torkelson's son, Travis, and it was the same thing. It was right before the race, and Nick was able to go, and we went out on our first ride, and I'm like, not in that good a shape, but I'm like, well, I'll let my ability do the talking. Well, that didn't work, so I get out there, and I'm fogged up, and Nick's, I don't know how many miles up the trail, and I'm like, well, okay. I know which way to go in this race, but I think I got a little training to do. But anyway, just great to have had the opportunity with Nick and Tyler and Eric. Dusty Van Meter, same thing. We had, I think, 6 or 7 years where we had a lot of success. We had a lot of fun. I think we did more having fun at the cabin than practicing and being serious. I don't know if Dusty's here tonight, but we had a good time, and I want to thank him for all the fun we had. I want to thank all the people that sponsored this race and have volunteered and helped and done all they've done to make this great event, because it goes unrecognized, and I'd like to thank all those people for sure. Whether it's here on the trail, McGrath, Nome, Fairbanks, wherever. Let's see here. I want to thank somebody like Doug Dixon for all 20 years of his help. let's see here. I want to thank some of my help along the way, whether it was, help before the race or flight support. Mark Tope is here somewhere. I seen him. He's all dressed up. Terrible, dressed up. But Mark helped me a lot the last 5, 6, 7 years I raced, and I want to thank him. Yep. And I want to thank one of my best friends, Chris Baxter, who's down in Arizona for a kids hockey tournament, who for the last, 12 years I raced, he flew support for me. Brian Horschel as well. Dave McCrae, who's no longer with us. I want to thank my mechanic for, I don't know how many years, would you say, Eric? A lot. Most of the time I raced. Don Jones for all the help, wrenching. Without him, I wouldn't have raced this long. I want to thank Dan Risner, who's here, for all of his help the last 5 or 6 years. Anybody that knows Dan, that's the salt of the earth right there. I want to thank Team CC, Corey Cronquist, for all his generosity and help over the years. He's a great guy. He's still a great friend, and I want to thank him. I want to thank Brad Hellwig for back in the early years for all of his help, and even the years later on, he continued to help me, and I appreciate it, Brad. Chris Graber, same thing. Chris always was down to help, whether I was on Ski-Doo or not, and I want to thank her. And then last, I want to thank a couple of my friends that had time to show up tonight. One of them is Rob, who flies. He's supposed to be in the air right now. I want to thank AJ Bartell and his wife for coming tonight. I want to thank Johnny Thunder and Monica for showing up tonight. I stole your flight support, Tyler. So you might be SOL. No more GPS tracks, bud. Let's see, I want to thank Dan Hall and Marliana. Dan sponsored me for years, and I want to thank you guys for making time to come. And then my buddy Mark Skabinski and his wife Deantha for showing up. And then Emmy and Matthew, who am I missing? I think I got everybody. So anyway, I want to wish everybody good luck. Chris Olds, you're older than me, and I'm proud of you, buddy. I'm pulling for you. You know I got to pull for these two, though. They're my little buddies. But I'm pulling for you and Brad and Robbie, you guys too. It's a joy to watch you guys, and I miss being out there, and I want to thank everybody. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations. Mark McKenna. I'd like to add just a little tidbit to that. Mark can contest to this. It's been rumored for many years, but Mark and myself are rumored to team up for 2023 for the Iron Dog. We did manage for a pretty hefty sponsor, and his brothers agreed to buy us 8 sleds, I heard. They're Ski-Doos. We'll be riding Lynxes. We need 8. But Mark probably could tell you more about that story. Mark McKenna is in the Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen. I now would like to introduce Bobby Meme again and bring him up because he's going to introduce our next inductee in the 2022 Iron Dog Hall of Fame, coming to you live from the Menard Center. Bobby Meme.
Thanks, Beagle. I got no Iron Dog stories for this one, okay? You guys in this room all know Jim Wilkie, okay? Very deserving of this award that we're going to give out to Jim. But I just want to tell you a story about when I first met Jim. I met Jim in 1992 when I worked at Polaris. I was a watercraft product manager. So that was the personal watercraft for the jet skis, okay? And my first year there, we had to put a dealer council together. And I was working with my boss, the VP at Polaris, and going through the list of all the dealers around the country that we sell to. And he says, we need to, get some of our bigger dealers. And we were going through the list. And he says, we need somebody from the north, somebody from the cold area, he says. We need somebody from Minnesota or Michigan or something, he says. And he's looking at the list, and my boss says, how about Jim Wilkie, he says. And I said, how many watercraft did he sell in Alaska? and Ed says, well, he sells more than you think, but Jim's got a lot of input. Jim's a very intelligent guy, and he's got a lot of feedback, and he's good for us. So anyways, I invited Jim to our personal watercraft dealer council. And Jim's on there for a couple of years, but that's when I first met Jim. And I understood what Jim brings to the plate, okay? Jim brings a lot, okay? He's got a lot of knowledge, and he knows a lot of history and things of that about Alaska and what makes a business successful and what it doesn't. So I've respected Jim for many, many years, and him and I have stayed in touch over the years periodically, and he's been very helpful to Bobby a few years back when my son came up here. But anyways, I just can't thank Jim enough for being the type of person that he is. And Jim's just a wonderful guy. And Jim, I'd like to have you up here then. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you so much, Bob. Just a quick heads up, I'll give you a couple of quick stories about Mark McKenna, who just preceded me into the Hall of Fame. In 1994, Mark and his twin brother Matt came over to my store with their mom, and I believe they were still in high school, and they wanted to buy a couple of Polarises, and they kind of whipsawed me a little bit on price, and came back a couple weeks later with mom and the checkbook and loaded them up and said they were going to go out and have a little bit of fun, and said they were pretty fast, and apparently they were. So a few years later, of course, they switched to Polaris. But a little bit of trivia, I believe this is correct, but if I'm not mistaken, the only race that Mark McKenna has ever run was the Iron Dog. He never raced juniors or kids or weekend races, nothing. All he ever did was run the Iron Dog, and as you can plainly see, he did it really, really well. So congratulations, Mark, I appreciate that. As for me, I grew up in Nome. I started racing up there for Morgan's, for Beryl Morgan. He's in the Hall of Fame. I moved to Anchorage. I got involved with the hanging around at Anchorage Cycle with Bob Kowalski and Tom Berkeley. They were helping to organize the first Iron Dog along. I was helping them. They're in the Hall of Fame. Dan and Evan Booth. I sponsored them when I was at Alaska Power Sports. They're in the Hall of Fame. My first Iron Dog partner was Bob Gilman. He's in the Hall of Fame. So I guess the obvious question is, what took so long for me? So, I will tell you a little bit of an origin story if I can. And that is, I was involved with the very first Iron Dog. And a lot of you are, all of you are younger than I am. So I'll give you a little background as to how this event came into being. I had moved to Anchorage. I was hanging around at Anchorage Cycle. Danny Gueco was back there. He was working the parts counter. So we used to hang around at the up in Bob's office. And Tom Berkeley had just moved from Wisconsin and California to Eureka Lodge. He had bought Eureka Lodge, and he was hanging around there. Well, he came in one day, and he said to Bob, he said, hey, Yamaha just called me. They're no longer going to sponsor the Winnipeg to St. Paul race, the I-500. So what they want to do is they want to sponsor the longest race in the world. They want it to be at least 1,000 miles, and they want to put up $125,000. I said, well, that sounds pretty cool. So Bob decided to put together a plan, and the three of us got together. Danny Gueco and Chad Eppard went to USGS, and they got all the sectionals, and this is how it all came to pass. We laid all the maps out of all of Alaska and tried to figure out where we're going to go. The only thing we knew is we wanted to start somewhere in the Anchorage area and go someplace 1,000 miles. So we looked at all sorts of possible routes. Could we go to, the first thing we looked at and eliminated right away was Anchorage to Fairbanks. Just no earthly possible way to do it. Go through the pass someplace and wrap around, and it just made 0 sense. So that got scratched right away. So we started looking at, could we possibly go to Barrow? Could we go to Bethel? Could we go to Nome? Could we go to Dillingham? And we looked at it real hard. For marketing reasons, Bob wanted to go to Bethel. We looked at that and looked at going over the pass, maybe to Roan River and then take a left. And man, we looked at those maps and we looked at sectionals, and from Roan River south towards Bethel, there's like 150, 200 miles of nothing. There is no place out there. There's no cabins. There's no villages. There's nothing. And doing a lot of river running didn't seem to make a lot of sense either, so we dropped that plan. Looked long and hard at possibly going to Kotzebue and gave up on that idea. So then we started looking at going to Nome. One of the things we were trying to do was make sure that whatever route we chose had to have a checkpoint, a village, someplace where we could gas up every 100 miles. So that was the criteria. So eventually, of course, we settled on Anchorage to Nome, basically Big Lake to Nome. And that's when the fun started. So as soon as we announced that, the Iditarod people just went berserk. They absolutely didn't want anything to do with this. They said, no, no, and they fought us with BLM, and it was in the papers, and this went on for weeks and months and hearings and letters and all of this back and forth. And then I'll never forget, I don't believe I still have the paper, but I remember it was headlines, Iron Dog gets permit, and below the fold, Russian Premier Kosygin dies. I thought, wow, that's something. The head of Russia dies, and he doesn't even get the headlines, and we did. So we held the first race. Because of the agreement we made with BLM, we had to go after the Iditarod, which was, by the time we got that all squared away, now we're at the end of March, or excuse me, yeah, the end of March. It's raining like it is today, but the rivers were open. It was just a mess. There was no way we could get from Anchorage or Big Lake to McGrath without swimming. So we flew all the sleds to McGrath, started there. Another brilliant idea of mine. It wasn't long enough to do that, so I said, well, let's put in a loop from McGrath back to Nikolai and back, and everybody hated that, and that was the last time we did that. But it gave us a few more miles. We got to Nome. The race was over. John Feo won by using a little bit of trickery, which was legit, and Bob then at that point handed the keys to me and said, okay, you're in charge now. And I set about trying to put together an organization and became the first president of the Iron Dog, and I was in that position for a couple of years until I decided to become a racer, which was a really bad idea. So I then got involved in the dealership, bought a dealership and got into it, became a sponsor, and one of the things I was proudest of in all of the years I was involved with the Iron Dog is when, and Doug Dixon will pointed this out to me one time, and I said, yeah, I guess you're right. But it was in the early 90s, and the Iron Dog wasn't doing all that great, and the numbers of entries had started to fall down. And at one point, I believe there was 25, 26 entries, and over half of them had pretty solid sponsorship from my company. And anybody that came in and walked in the door, I gave them all the best deal I could, gave them all as much help as I could, as much sponsorship as I could. On my way up here this evening, I got a real nice text message to that effect from Todd Palin. That's how he got involved, and of course he's not totally thrilled how much money I cost him over the years, but he did thank me for that, and he's just a real typical example. I tried to help as many guys as I could, and the parts guys all hated it, but I didn't care. I wanted to make sure that everybody got there and kept this thing going. So I sold my dealership in 2001 and kind of retired and got away from the Iron Dog for a little while, just became a fan and a spectator like a lot of you have. And then in 2006, I believe it was, I was approached, hey, you want to go back on the board? And like an idiot, I said, sure. So I went back on the board and was on the board and in various positions, president, vice president, for quite a few years. And that was, of course, during a period of really, pretty solid growth for the Iron Dog and kind of brought us to where we are today. A few years ago, I stepped away and I thought, well, I'm getting old enough where it's time for me to let somebody else take over and stop letting me run the show all the time. So I backed away from it, and it's in good, solid hands, and it's gone well. So, you know, the event continues to grow against all odds. I know it's been really tough the last couple of years with COVID and sponsorship and all of that. And I do, you know, wish you guys all the best. And, you know, I'm really pleased to see the thing is on solid ground. I would like to close with a couple thanks to people that sometimes kind of get overlooked. I know everybody wants to thank all the volunteers and the sponsors and the fans, and that's all great, and that comes, you know, goes without saying, I suppose. But what sometimes gets overlooked, and I saw it on the inside, was the paid staff. Because the paid staff, there's no such thing as a time clock, and there's no such thing as a schedule. These guys bust their butts around the clock day and night. And sometimes that goes overlooked. Oh, they're just paid. So I know what happens because I was there. The board will meet every 2 weeks, and they'll come in on a Tuesday night, and they'll say, well, we should do this, let's do that, we're going to do that. And they dump it all on the lap of the staff, and then they walk out the door and say, we'll get it done, see you later. And, you know, then you check your email a week from now to see what happened. So I worked real closely when I went back on the board with Laura Bedard, who brought in a real big sponsor, which was fantastic, and she sometimes gets forgotten about. Laurel, who is here tonight, her and Kevin, they really took over, brought it up to a whole different level. Sarah Miller was there with them. And, of course, we have Bob and Heidi carrying on that tradition right now. And I know they're busting their asses and answering phone calls and selling raffle tickets and all of that goes along with that. So, again, they obviously they all get paid and they're drawing a paycheck, but they're not getting paid on an hourly basis. They're probably not making minimum wage. So they do deserve a big hand, please. Thank you. And finally, a couple other people I would like to single out. I don't want to go down the list of all the board members who I've worked with over the years that made big contributions, but there's a couple that I believe should be in the Hall of Fame. Probably half this room should be in the Hall of Fame, and I don't want to pick anybody out because the other half will say, what about me? But there are a couple of folks that worked real closely with me on the board for years and years and years. And behind the scenes, we'd have phone calls and emails back and forth, and we need to straighten this out, and we need to solve that. But Eric Johnson busted his ass for years and years and didn't ever get much thanks, and I really appreciated everything he did. And then Marianne Beckham, she and I kind of traded off as president and vice president for several years, and Marianne, of course, retired and moved to Florida, I believe, but she busted her butt, too, for years and always showed up with a smile, and she did a hell of a job. So those guys, or those folks, I believe will probably be in the Hall of Fame at some point. And, of course, the guy I mentioned a little bit earlier who should be in the Hall of Fame is Todd Palin. If he would ever stop racing, he should be in the Hall of Fame as well. So I've had a lot of fun over the years, and I really appreciate the honor. And it's been a privilege, and I hope you guys have a real safe race this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Bobby, you can present the award. Congratulations, Jim. Jim Wilkie, 2022, inducted into the Iron Dog Hall of Fame. Where's Bobby? Don't go anywhere. We've got some new sponsors that have stepped up to the plate, and I only feel I'm just an announcer. You know what I mean? I'm just here telling you guys basically what the program is. Bobby's the executive director, and I feel that he should announce these new sponsors that have stepped up to the Iron Dog. Bobby?
Thanks, Beagle. I'd like to have Laura come up from Red Dog Mines, Alaska Tech. They've stepped up this way in a big way this year, folks. And what you've known as the Kotzebue Loop in the past is now the Red Dog Loop. And they're paying for all the fuel and stuff. So it's a big deal for all of us.
Thanks.
Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
No. You don't want to talk?
Group photo.
There we go.
Group photo.
Well, I can say a couple words. I would like to say thank you for this opportunity to sponsor this year's 2022 Red Dog Loop race. Also, I would like to have everybody please give recognition to the fine staff. I've been calling you guys and you always answered and you guys were great. Thank you so much for answering my questions, especially since I'm a newbie this year. And we have 2 teams racing this year in the region. We have Team 4 and Team 12. So good luck, Team 4, Team 12. And I look forward to watching you guys this weekend.
Thanks, Laura. Appreciate it.
Also, I'd like to ask, and I haven't seen yet if they're here or not, is Jenna or Carrie here from MTA? MTA stepped up as a big way this year, and I haven't seen if they've made it, we're able to make it tonight or not, but MTA is our second largest sponsor, and they've done a lot for us this year, and that's part of what you're seeing here is the Menard Center. They're covering all those costs, so I don't see that were able to make it tonight, so I will get the plaque to them. But you guys need to support MTA as much as you can because they've really stepped up as a new sponsor, and they plan on growing with us and stuff too. So I look forward to that. So thank you, MTA.
Thank you, Bobby. I kind of left off at the start of the Iron Dog, so I'd like to kind of finish with the Iron Dog. After we go to Nome, then we come back here for the finish, and that's on Saturday when we finish here. And there's a lot of events that are happening here at the Menard Center. There's a couple events that are brand new to the Iron Dog this year. There's a group called ACCR. They're sponsored by our club, Big Lake Aurora Lions. And what it is, it's the 200cc class. And there's 2 kids, 2 teams of 2. They both ride 200s, and they're escorted by an adult riding in each two adults. And there's 4 races this year. The race we just had out on Big Lake, it was awesome. It was a 30-mile loop, and the top 20 finishers out of everybody, out of the 200s, got invited to come to the Iron Dog to race here on Saturday. They're going to make a loop around the whole complex, so it's going to do 10 laps. They're 2 miles long, and it's the top 20 finishers from all of this race that we had at Big Lake last weekend. It was a 30-mile loop, and it went off huge. We're going to have another race in Big Lake called the Iron Pup, and that's actually going to be sponsored by Iron Dog. And these kids that are racing, they started at our club at Big Lake Aurora Lions, where we take the 3-year-olds. I gave it a medal 2 weeks ago at a race, and I put it around the little Grom's neck, and the medal was literally inches from hanging on and hitting the ground. It was so cool, and he was 3, and he just turned 3. And what we do is we've got such an interest in these kids coming up with this racing. It's getting huge. So everybody's getting into 200s. If you have a 200 and you're not riding it, my gosh, put it on Craigslist because they're going like gold. So with that being said, when we get back, the Iron Dog gets back, there's that race. And then Corey Davis is going to be here after he gets done riding the Iron Dog. He's going to put on a freestyle show. And that's going to be incredible. They did a flying iron show at Big Lake a couple years back, and they did it back in Anchorage. It draws an incredible crowd. The talent that comes to these shows is rival to none. They'll be X Game champions, and it will be an absolute awesome show. It will be fun to see. You'll get it up close and personal. And what I'd kind of like to see, we could probably talk to Iron Dog, is maybe get not so much Corey's ramps, but put a 16-foot super kicker and make a small safety pad, and everybody that goes in the Iron Dog play follow the leader and hit the ramp. I thought that would be pretty cool. All right, that didn't go over. But anyways, I thought that would be pretty neat. We used to do that back in the day, play follow the leader, and I didn't know Corey back then, but I played once with Dane Ferguson. I'll tell you what. Never play follow the leader. It was gnarly, and it was backcountry, and people are always saying that you'll hear the hearsay that I used to be fast and everything. I used to be. I can go across Big Lake just as fast as everybody, and then when I get to the other side, that's it. I got arm pump and I'm done. I'm looking That's it. Hammer done. So without further ado, and me rambling on, I'm going to call up Laura from Red Dog Mine, and we are going to announce our numbers, start pulling the numbers. And while Laura makes her way up here, I just wanted to break down and let you know how important these sponsors are to us this year. So here's how the prize purse is going to work this year. First place, $45,000. Second place, $35,000. Third place, $25,000. Fourth place, $15,000. Fifth place, $10,000. And then from 6th through 10, you can each person will receive $5,000, or you could not take your $5,000, just simply say, add me to next year's roster, and your entry fee is taken care of. Or if you're riding and your partner was like, I really need this money, you can join the Iron Dog for 2023, and your partner can take the $5,000. So it works either way. But they're paying all the way down to 10th place. That's the first year Iron Dog has been able to do this in a long time. Thank you, and put a round of applause, please. All right, I'm going to make my way over to the table. Laura from Red Dog Mine. And it's team number 23. And that is 23. Miller. Miller and Miller. Jarvis Miller. And Jordan Miller. That's correct. They get to pick where they start. They were the first number drawn. And we'll have your up here. And where do you want to start? They want to be the 6th team out of the gate. Number 6 team out of the gate. We got that? All right. 10. Team 10 is next. Thomas Davis and Zach Weiss. Team 10. Hold on. You want to hear a joke? No, I'm sorry. Okay, Team 10, you guys up here? All right. Welcome, Team 10. Do you know where you want to go? Come on over here. You can kind of take a look. Take a look at the starting. Team 6 has been taken, or 6 positions gone. Take your time, because I'm going to give you this mic after. You guys can thank your sponsors. Fifth. They want to go out 5th. And hold on. You guys want to thank any of your sponsors?
I'll let Mike start.
We'd just like to thank the Iron Dog and all the board and everybody for putting this thing on. It takes an army to put this thing on, and we thank you guys for your hard work. And Donlin Gold, the Red Dog Mine, just all of Iron Dog sponsors that make this whole thing happen. And then all of our sponsors, of course, Polaris, from engineering to the race department, everybody there, Climb, Walker Evans Shocks, Eagle River Polaris, and Articat. Mission 22, we're doing this run for suicide prevention for veterans, and it's pretty cool to be involved with these guys. Baja Designs, some pretty kick-ass lights we're running this year. We're happy to be a part with them. My dad Stan for flying for us once again. Polaris Engineered Lubricants, Northern Air Cargo for shipping our stuff around. Thank you guys, much appreciated. As Q Trucking up in Nome, Bearing Air, Stud Boy, Studs, Traction Products, Alaska Industrial X-Ray, our buddies over at Alaska Wild Project. We did a podcast with them a couple months ago, and they're doing some pretty cool stuff all Alaska, and check that out. We did a Iron Dog specific deal with them. It's on YouTube and stuff. Rugged Radios, Anchor Sheet Metal, Northern Solutions, our buddy Dave Stacy over at Anchorage Drag Bike for doing some clutch balancing for us. Doug Dixon puts his heart and soul into this. I think he sponsors pretty much every team in the race. Doug, you build some awesome bags, and he was over there helping us put them on the other night. Thanks, Doug. And he's manning the checkpoint in McGrath along with Mike. So thank you guys. Starting Line Products, my buddy Will at Velocity Sled Performance. Morgan Sales and Service up in Nome, the Polaris dealer up there. Power Mad Windshields, we've been running their windshields for a few years, and they work really well. Morgan Enterprises up in Nome. Nitro Trailers, Trijet Manufacturing. There's a lot of teams that utilize their water jet and precision machine work over there. Thank you guys. Arctic FX Graphics for making our sleds look pretty once again. Grip and Rip, we use their ISO Vibes, handlebar vibration dampeners, and then just some of the people that help us out along the trail, Manzi and Sweepy and McGrath, Dietrich and his family and Nikolai, or McGrath as well, Butch and Elizabeth, Captain and Ruby, Tyler and his family and Galena, Aggie Katungan and Unilacleat, my mom, of course, my family up in Nome for helping us out, as always, and yeah, let's have a good race here.
Yeah, I'd like to just thank my family, my wife for letting me do this as long as I have. It's pretty much sucked up our whole our financial future, but it's been a fun ride. My kids for not being able to spend as much time as I would like to this time of year, but and then again the board and you know, all the volunteers just make this race possible. Thanks everyone.
How would the last team come on back? Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Give a shout out to your sponsors.
I'd like to thank my wife, Chelsea, for putting up with me doing this. Hattie for letting him put up and doing it. I'd like to thank my parents, Joe and Terry Miller, Charlie and Jennifer Reeder, Manzi Magnuson, Tom and Cindy Massey, Blanche and Echo, Barb Amrock, Jesse Blanford, Josh D. Tavernier, Obsessive Lighting, Woody's, Stud Boy, SLP, Lone Pine Fabricators, Arctic Metalworks, and Rag Chew Amateur Radio Club.
And I'd like to thank, again, Q Trucking, Corey and Barbara at Team CC, my fiance Hattie and daughters for letting me do this, Danny Gueco, Louis Schick, and all the volunteers that help put this on. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Okay. Yep. We're back on track.
22.
Team 22. And let me look at my sheet. It's not on there.
Yeah, it's this one.
Matt Piat. No, this.
That's 22. And Greg Strohmeyer?
Yes. Okay. Matt Piat and Greg Strohmeyer, right?
What's that? Pyatt.
Matt Pyatt. Got it. All right. Congratulations. Where would you guys like to start? Take a look at this. 5 and 6 are taken. They want to go in position 8. And do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah. I'd like to thank my wife and kids for being such a huge support in this. Couldn't have done it without them. Partner Greg for talking me into this whole thing. It's been a lot of fun. Wouldn't have done it without him. Some of the sponsors we have, Northern Air Cargo, Team CC, Cora Barber have been great, Pioneer Peak Orthopedics, Sherman Technologies, Cubbies, MGM Truck, Stud Boy, Diodynamics, and Rugged Radio.
Quick shout out to my wife who supports Bad Decisions year after year. So thanks for supporting me through this. Corey and Barbara at Team CC, really appreciate your help. Tyler and Nick from Team 7, we appreciate everything you've done for us as well. And I think that's it.
Awesome. Congratulations, Team 20. Team 22. Coming out of the gate, 8th. Team 30. And that is Cody Worley and Blake Elder. Blake was also our person that gave our prayer today. Bring these boys up. How you doing? Good. What position you want to start? 7? They want to go in position 7. Position 7. All right, here you go.
All right. I'd like to thank my wife and my kids for their support this year. I'd like to also thank RMG Real Estate Network, Evangelos, Buck Wilder, Caris Integrative Medicine, Master Auto, Polaris Racing, of course, and Climb.
I'd like to thank my wife, Emily, and my kids, my family, Mark and Barb Worley, and then our sponsors, ASRC Energy, Beacon Occupational Health, Strata Deep Construction, Pioneer Peak Asphalt, Hatcher Pass AK, and then Amanda and Stevie Leonard for being our pilots. Thank you.
All right, Team 30 going out of the gate in 7th. Good luck. Okay, next up we have Team 40. And Team 40 is Daniel Thomas and Mark Nelson. Team 40. Daniel and Mark. Welcome, Team 40. Where do you want to start? 5 through 8 are gone. 4 is open. They're taking position 4. 4th team out of the gate. Here you go, guys.
Huge thank you to the family, to the brides, all the support. Thank you to Visa, MasterCard, a couple others here real quick. Weller Recreation down in Camas, Utah. Build Construction Development, Trail Tank, Alaska Dental Care, and got to get some good GoPro footage. Glad to have GoPro in the back pocket.
Yeah, just trying to think of like the efforts that it takes to get here from Utah. There's a lot more names than we can throw out right now, but just anybody and everybody that helped get us here from out of state is amazing. Other specific help, Barb and Corey over at Team CC, and maybe more importantly is Wendy at the parts counter, coming in clutch when we forgot parts and needed extras that we broke and whatnot. We've also got Climb keeping us warm, Power Mad windshields. I shattered mine last year, a different brand, so we're excited to have Power Mad this year. Grip and Rip, Stud Boy, and then I do want to thank my family. We had commitments at home, so they're back in Utah, so pretty supportive of them to send me up here and spend weeks away from home and be able to race. So grateful for them and for everybody else that's helped us get here.
One last thank you. Stan, James, and Cody flew down to Utah to help us build our machines. Very grateful for those 2 men.
Awesome. Congratulations. You're going out of the gate 4th. That's Team 40. Next up. Whoa, Team 18. And that is Ted Koval and Jesse Bradley. Team 18. I had a qualifier for the X Games in St. George, Utah. Just throw that out there. It was a luge event. All right. Here you go, guys. How you doing? Good. What position would you like to start out of? They're going to position 10. All right.
All right. First of all, I'd like to thank my wife and my family. Not only is she a support at home, she's one of my biggest financial supporters with her Pizza Box restaurant. We also got Bruce Hale, Climb, Pinnacle Mechanical, Finishing Edge Concrete, Live Wire Electric, Peninsula Power Sports, Carmody Masonry, Justin Cole's Down East Saloon, Best Tire Shop, Edward Jones, Capitol Office, Orca Theater, Puller Screens, Walker Evans, Guth's Lodge, Homer Boatworks, Trail Toys and Off-Road, Vision X Lights, Floaters Pub, and some personal Craig and Nissa McGee, of course my mom and dad, they're always there, Travis and Ashley McCoy, Brian and Amy Woolley. Also like to thank Team 19, Temple and Moore, they've helped a ton with sled setup, a million phone calls, hours and hours. And also David Wagner for bringing me some parts the other night here out in the middle of nowhere, middle of the night. So thank you, everybody.
Jesse, you got anybody?
We put sponsors together, so wife, family, and Iron Dog, of course.
Awesome. Congratulations. It looks like you're going out in 10th position. Team 18. Team 49. Andrew Gumley and Clinton Van Wingerden. Team 40. Team 40.
Thanks. Yeah, I think we're choosing a starting position here.
That's correct.
I think we'll take third. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hit the sponsors.
Yeah, hit that. All right. Cool. Well, yeah. So a lot of sponsors here. A lot of people that support us. A lot of companies that stand behind us. You've heard a lot of stories tonight already just around motivations for why people run this race. The world's longest, toughest race, right? You got to be a little bit crazy, right, to run this race. But, one of the things that drive us when I asked Andrew to run this race with me was we run this race to serve and honor our Lord and God and our Savior, Jesus Christ, and try to be a light to the communities that we travel through and point them Godward. So some of the people that... places that we want to thank, Walker Manufacturing, Anchorage Well and Pump Service, Polaris Race Department, FXR Racing, Doug's Machine Shop. That's my dad. He does all the machine work on our machines for us, and he's supported us for every year. He's just been amazing support. Tri-Jet Manufacturing, Pioneer Peak Orthopedic Surgery, Alaska Aircraft Cylinders, Alyeska Pipeline Service Company, Shackley Resource Center, and Tony, we're glad that you're here with us tonight. And Special Events Alaska.
All right, David Eller at Edward Jones, John Milo, White Spruce Trailers, Hatcher Pass Polaris, Fast Track Traction, Rugged Radios, Trail Tech, Power Mad, Matsu Miners, Rulene and Associates. If you guys need some accounting work done, there's some smart people over at Rulene. We want to thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. In about 10 days here, there's going to be Victor standing on the podium, and that is going to be sweet. And I just want to tell you that that's a shadow of the victory that's available to everyone who puts their faith in Jesus Christ. And when they get to the end of the race, at the end of this life, that in so many ways parallels the Iron Dog race, you want to be hearing, "Well done, good and faithful servant," from your Savior. And he's going to say, "Enter into my rest." Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Congratulations. That's Team 40. They're going out the gate third. Team 39. Brett Lampin and Cody Barber. Come on up, guys. Team 39. What do you think, guys? Where do you want to go? Do you need to know what's available? Here you go.
3 through 8 have been taken, and 10th place has been taken. You want to go second?
You guys want to go in 2? All right, they're taking position number 2, and here they are to thank their sponsors.
Yeah, we'll start by thanking Iron Dog and all Iron Dog sponsors. Like everyone says, can't do it without them, and for putting on this race. Everyone that's a part of Team Barber Racing, Polaris, Hatcher Pass, Walker Evans Racing, Climb, Trijet, Spain Excavating, Septic Services, AK, Rock Solid Power Company, Palmer Dental Sensor, ZRP, Stud Boy, Power Mad, 139 Designs, Cade Robbins, Mark Bills, my family, my wife. It's been a busy Iron Dog with a new baby, but it's been awesome. Barber family, Travis and Chad, my family, and all our other friends have helped us along the way. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Aurora Drilling and Consulting, Alaska Air Balancing, HDR Marine, Willow Equipment Rental, Spain Services, Fine Line Interior, Doug, you're awesome, Ron and Carla, Benny Myers, Great Air Sport, Brandon Portera, Marshall, Clint Montague, Ricky Castro, the Conlon family, my brother Evan, my wife Brandy, and my herd of kids. Brett, Shayna for opening their house up for building our Iron Dog sleds, and of course my mom and dad for getting me into all of this. So yeah, thanks, really appreciate it.
All right, that's Team 39. Team 6. Brad George and Robbie Shackle, last year's champions. They already know they're going out 13th position. Here you go, guys.
Thank you. Well, this is about the hardest part of this whole race right here, so we'll get this over with. Everything else is easy. But big shout out to everybody, Iron Dog, Corey Barb, Team CC. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. Brittany, my girlfriend, she's definitely helped out tons this year. My mom, the George family. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate everything. Alaska Line Builders, C. Foster, Savannah House. They have done a lot for us. DC 907, Prism, Penn Jersey Drilling, Northern Asphalt, Denali Law, Signature Realty, Daniel for helping us out with grabbing a GPS for us. That was sweet. Mike at MGM, John Eichert building us some tanks, Lone Pine, and DMC Power, Royal Flush, and Stud Boy. Oh, and Dustin, thanks for the climb gear. Stuff's the best.
Yeah. Like Robbie said, Dustin, thank you. Climb gear, awesome, you guys. Thank you so much, keeping us warm and dry. We're going to need it this year. Start off, I'd like to thank my wife. She's put up with a lot this year, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. We got a new baby, and she's been a trooper. Thank you, babe. My mom, my dad, everybody knows I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad. He's done everything for me, so thank you, Dad. Corey and Barb, Team CC. Corey and Barb, you guys are, I don't know where you guys are at, but you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everything. Everybody at Team CC, not the parts counter, the service department, everybody. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. We walk in there like we own the place. We take whatever. We just yell out parts as we leave, and everybody, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everything. Stan James, Western Construction, TCM, Anderson Concrete, John Eicher at Lone Pine Fabrication, Napa, Perfect Start. I'd like to thank my partner, Robbie. Thank you for going with me one more time. I appreciate you. All the volunteers, Everybody put this race together, and apparently the paid staff too. Thank you guys for that. And then Mark and can't remember who else got inducted. Congratulations, you guys. Thank you, Wilkie. Congratulations, guys.
I gotta thank my mom and perfect start too.
Team 6 going out 13th. Team 14, Casey Boylan and Brian Leslie. That's what's available. First and second is still wide open. Hey, guys. 9? Team 9. Team 14 has chose position 9.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Iron Dog. Thanks, Beagle. Congratulations to Mark and Jim for the Hall of Fame. And good job, Bob, Minnie. You're doing, it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. I'd like to thank Polaris. They're a pretty big sponsor of ours. Ben Hayes, Tom Rager Jr., AK Frost. They really don't have any involvement in snow machines, and then they came to us, and they've been awesome, super involved now, and yeah, it's cool to see a company like that, a local company, get involved like they are. Fly Racing, those guys have really come around just insanely good with their gear. Their helmets have been super good. We've worn them every year, but the gear is awesome. We've been dry, warm, can't say enough about them. My dad, he spent probably 200 hours building sleds, 2 bottles of Red Loctite between each one, and we trust it. It works. My mom, too, for feeding us. Jordan Starr, our pilot, my wife, thank you for putting up with me. My grandparents, Drew at Anchorage Yamaha Polaris, he will bend over backwards, jump through hoops, do whatever we ask, and it's pretty cool to have a guy like that in our corner. 139 Designs, Hydrate AK, yeah, they're hopefully keep us nice and hydrated, even though we'll be plenty wet.
So to finish off, Value Liquor, they've been a sponsor for many years now. We got Hard Rock Plumbing, Lone Pine. He does a lot of the tanks nowadays out here. He's always a good dude. Hillside Audio, Overland Transport, Big Dreams Transport, Carlisle Transport, New Horizons, Bailey's Rental, Alaska IBW. They're my paycheck every week too, so thank you. Strata Deep, Trijet, Stud Boys, and Fine Line. Last but not least, Doug spends a lot of time in the garage working on stuff for everyone, so I can't thank him enough. And I also want to thank my fiance and my family and all the friends. You guys are awesome.
And I want to thank, give a double shout out to my friend Cody at Soul City. Got me in good shape for this year.
All right, Team 14 going out in 9th position. We're getting down there. Team 19. Travis Templin and Chad Moore. I'm sorry, Travis Temple. Team 19 is chose position 11. Here you go, guys.
All right, we just want to thank, I want to thank my wife, Janie. She's put up with a lot, taking care of 3 kids while I've been having fun. Team Barber Racing, Davis Block, Polar Screens, Operation Children First, Peninsula Power Sports, Industrial Pumps of Alaska, CCI, Polaris Race Department, Property Sisters, Property Managers, Majestic Gardens, Pride and Street, Alaska West Air, Moose River Barbecue, Climb, Stud Boy, Power Mad, Sweeney's, Kendra Dukowitz, Renegade Custom Cycles, L&J, Yellow Jacket Oilfield, 4D Carpet One, Cruise Construction, and River Wellness and Health. They've all helped us along the way, so we all very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife, Crystal, for feeding me and Chad every night in the shop. Team Barber Racing, Cody, Brett, Shayna, giving us the twin bed to sleep on. Troy, Shane, all you guys are a huge help. Thank you.
Congratulations. Team 19 has chosen to go out 11th. Number 25, team number 25. Jeff Kraus and Trevor Helwig. Team number 25. There it is. Hey guys, you want to see what's left? You can swing right over there. First or 12th? 12. They're going to go out 12th. That's team 25 going out in 12th position. Here you go, guys.
I just want to thank you to Brad Helwick, Eric Quam, Wyatt. The hours those guys spent in the garage working on snow machines and just helping things out, it's been amazing. Our families, Trevor's girlfriend, since he won't talk. Climb stepped it up quite a bit this year. Nick and everybody at Alaska Mining and Diving. Carrie at Skidoo has always been very helpful. Alaska Boiler and Burner, North Coast Mechanical, R&M Consultants, Doug at Fine Line. I mean, he's handing you stuff that you didn't even know you needed. Bob Services, Laughlin, Ogle, and Rogers. Grip and Rip for helping keeping the sleds together. Trail Tank, Stud Boy, Lone Pine Fabrication, just like everybody else, and 139. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Team 24, Stephen Booth and Evan Booth. Come on up. Team number 24. We have first and 14 on. What position would you like to pick? 14th. They've taken 14. Team number 24 is in 14th position, or 14th out of the gate.
He doesn't want the mic. I'd like to thank Iron Dog and all the volunteers involved, Polaris Racing, the Vortex Group, Jim Wilkie, Barry Nair, Subway of Nome, Grip and Rip, Fine Line, Doug Dixon, Stud Boy, Fly Racing, WPS, Hatcher Pass Polaris, Wilderness Skidoo, Morgan Sales and Service up in Nome, Rugged Radios, Anoka Lodge, NAC, Nome Courier, Stan Anderson, my daughter, Taylor Booth, Stan Morgan, Harry and Joan Johnson, Uniclete, Davis Lincoln, White Mountain, Brian and Donna Walsh, Tyler and Lisa Huntington, Joyce Huntington, my friend Willie Scott, Fast Freddie Oaten from Nome, Quinn Schaefer, Bubba Anderson, Josh Kriebel, Katie O'Connor, Brett Gallagher, Jeff Hubert, Ben Rowe, Russell Rowe, Larry Agart, Alan Thomas, sitting over there, Jim Blanning, Gux LaRue, Daniel Stang. I'd like to thank Team 10, Mike Morgan and Chris Oles for putting up with me and getting me engaged in all the parts lists and basically everything. Thanks, Mike, Chris. Ben Piana and Big John Feo. Thank you.
I got a question for you. Is it true that Stefan's the youngest competitor ever in Iron Dog?
That's what they say, yep.
That's correct. He is the youngest competitor we've ever had, and he's right there. Photo opportunity right there. Put a round of applause for the youngest Iron Dog competitor.
If he does good, we'll auction him off after, okay?
I think he wants to say something. I saw that. He didn't want any part of it. That's Team 24. 29. All right, next up is Team 29. Dustin Dom and Dylan Don. Right? Dorn. Sorry. Oh, it looks like an M. Sorry, it looks like it's an R. Dorn. Team 29. They're going to go in 15th position. Are you sure? You don't want to say anything?
We'd like to thank everybody at Iron Dog and Corey and Barbara as well at Team CC helping us all get ready for the race, and Team 8 for helping us yesterday, the whole day get ready, get our sleds ready and everything. Team 16 for their garage, getting everything else ready on our sleds before yesterday. We'd also like to thank Skidoo, Woody's Traction, Curve Industries, FXR Racing, Shock Tech, Team CC, Dorn Trucking, Trail Tank.
131, Lone Pine, Fine Line Interiors, Grip and Rip Racing Products, SII Company, Next Gen Signs, 139 Designs, and Ogio.
And thanks for not making us start first.
That's Team 29. Team 28. Stephen Gustafsson and Sven Gustafsson. Right over there, Team 28. Gonna right now. How do you pronounce your last name? I got it. All right, all right, Gustafsson. Got it. 16th position. They want to go off in 16.
All right, we'd like to thank my wife, his mom, Kathy, my parents, his grandparents, Charles and Carolyn, and have a whole bunch of sponsors. We still don't understand why everybody allowed us to have sponsorships. But anyways, Hatcher Pass Polaris, Climb, Power Mad, Stud Boy Traction, Rugged Radios, CNA Pro Skis, Rebound Physical Therapy, Michael Quinn Construction, Alaska LASIK and Cataract Surgery, Beartooth, Moose's Tooth, Oopsie Daisy, Nothing But Driveways, Alaska Club, Dooley's Athletic, Joe and Jerry Allward, JD Steele. We'd like to thank Doug Dixon for all of his help. Had a bunch of people helping us in the garage. My daughter, her boyfriend Caleb, my nephew Jim G spent hours and hours with us. Appreciate the help from Larry Levine and Brad Helwig for helping us with shocks. I'm the principal at West High School, and the only way I could do this is if my staff chipped in and helped out, so I appreciate all of them and my students for supporting us.
And then I'd like to thank my girlfriend, Allie, for letting me drag her up here from Michigan so I could take part in this. Family, friends, like he said, Mike and Chris, you guys have given us everything we need to get to today. We'll see about the next couple days. ARC FX Graphics for letting us wrap sleds, making us look like we know what we're doing. And then last thank you to the whatever 12 teams are coming behind us. If you see a big 2.8 on the right side, the left side's straight for you guys.
All right, Team 28 going out 16th position, or 16th starting out of the gate. 16. And 16, oddly enough. Team 16 is it's Gage and Joe, or Gage Shack and Joe Bradley, or Brady, Joe Brady. I hope somebody wins to buy me a new pair of glasses. Hey, guys. Where do you want to go out? Whatever's next. I think first position still. No, we can't sell it. 17th they're taking. Here you go, guys.
All right, first and foremost, I'd like to thank Gage, my partner, and his girlfriend Bridget back there putting up with me. Been commuting down to from Fairbanks a lot, so they've been housing me, feeding me, and just spent a lot of time in the garage. And Gage has been doing a lot of work on the sleds when I've had to go back up for my job. So thanks, you guys. My parents, Dan and Debbie Brady there in the back, Bobby Menny with 131 Racing, Scott Franz, Corey and Barbara with Team CC, and the whole team there over at CC. They've been awesome. Lyle McGinty and Caltag. Fly Racing, we ran their gear last year. It's been incredible. Rich Come there has been great to work with. Ruby Marine, Groundhogs, 139 Designs, Chris Maroc, All-State Agency, Spalding Chiropractic, McLaren River Lodge, and Darby's Performance Machine in Fairbanks.
I'd like to thank Bridget for putting up with me in this whole thing. A lot of late nights in the garage. I'd like to thank JJC, Fike Industrial and Construction, Woody's Traction, Black Oak LED, Big Fish Lodge in Dillingham, CNA Pro Skis, Grip and Rip, Team 6 for all their tips, tricks, pointers. They've been really helpful for us. Brad Helwig, thank you for hooking us up with shocks. Doug Dixon at Fine Line. And that's about it. All right. Thanks, Iron Dog.
Team 16. All right, next up is Team 34, and that is Bradley Kishbaugh and Kelly Summer. There's position first and 18 on. 18 to 28 and first. First is there. What? Do it. What do you guys want to do? They're having a discussion. Are you serious? They're going to go first. Congratulations. You guys are just making history here. You know how fast that just got up to the slope, don't you? Or to Cots.
Thank you, Polaris Racing, Randy Kangas, and Kyle Krause, that whole table over there. Thank you, guys. Alex Raitan, Ivor Carlson, Brad Helwig, Doug and Gloria, yeah, Squinton Roadhouse, Dietrich Nikolai, Jonathan Egrass, Trijet, Hatcher Pass Polaris, Will Estes, Roger James. We're leaving first.
I'd like to thank Polaris Race Department, Grip and Rip, CCI Industrial Services, America Group, Summit Excavation, Hammond Trucking and Excavation, Penrod Properties on the Peninsula, Penner Construction, Pro Seal Group Kenai, Pollard Wireline, Woody's Traction, Power Mad, Rugged Radios, Mike and Chris with Team 10, helped us out a bunch, Mike Lilly, Jared and Cassie Ewing, Stephen Marcy Brown, Lone Pine, Climb, and just whole family, you know, they've been super supportive, helped us through the whole thing. Thank you.
Team 34, they are going out of the Iron Dog gate in first position. Team 9. Team 9. Shane Barber and Troy Conlon. Team 9. What do you guys want to do? 18th is open. All right, we're going in team 8 or 18th position for team 9. Here you go, guys.
All right, first I'd like to thank Iron Dog and all the volunteers and people that put this on. Remarkable job. I know probably going to be said a lot tonight, but not near enough. So we do appreciate all the effort. Outside of that, couple big sponsors for us. Hatcher Pass Polaris, Climb, appreciate the support, had them for several years, and it is definitely appreciated, especially with the weather we got coming up. Team Barber Racing, my wife Tammy and family support, the Conlon family. And Troy's got a little list here he wants to go through too, I guess, huh?
I'll keep it short here for us, but I want to thank my wife and my kids, these guys for coming down and supporting, my mom and dad for helping out, Tammy and Shane for taking me in not only this year but last year and making sure I'm always taken care of and got a place to come down. Polaris Racing, Rady Concrete, Aurora Drilling and Consultant, Stud Boy, Team Industries, Darby's Performance, Trijet, 139 Design, Interior Mobile Welding, Power Mad, Summit Coffee, and of course all the volunteers and everything that put this race on. We appreciate it, and that's why we keep coming back year after year.
Thanks, Troy. Good luck, guys. Team 9 going out in 18th. All right, we got Team 5. Zach Weiss, Tom Davis. Team 5. Hey, guys. 19? They want to go out on 19. Here you go.
Hey, I'd like to thank all the Iron Dog, all the volunteers, all the employees that work. You know, there's 2, but there's so many people that should be employed by Iron Dog that put in all the effort, late nights, board members that are still helping us out, Doug Dixon, and then we got all of our sponsors. So Polaris, Three Bears, Crowley Fuels, Hatcher's Pass Polaris, Climb Gear. I think we'll be putting it to the test this year. Jennifer Byers, GPS Alaska, Glenn Marlin State Farm, UHP Performance, Spire Realty Group, Prism Design and Construction, Pilot Brian Turner, all of our family and friends, all the late nights, and then Mike Vassar, 907 Ice.
First, I want to say thank you to my parents, my girlfriend for all the support. Thanks for Iron Dog, all that good stuff. You guys have done an awesome job putting this together. I want to thank Airport Equipment, Trijet, Odom Corporation, 139 Designs, Mad Hatter, Sun Station, Sun Spa, QAP, Walker Evans, and Stud Boy. Thank you.
All right, that's Team 5. That was 19th position they're leaving, so 20th is open. And we got next up is Team 8. Chad Guaco, Cody Moen. Here comes Chad and Cody. All right. 20th position is open to start. What do you guys think? 20th? They want to go 20th. All right, guys. Here you go, Chad.
Obviously, my dad, Danny Guaco, my partner, Cody, did a great job building the sleds. I've been traveling quite a bit, so coming in kind of late, and the sleds were pretty much done, which is always nice. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Team CC, Corey and Barb, Skidoo, BRP, XPS Oil, E&I Petroleum, Western Gold, Trail Tanks, Stud Boy, Power Mad. John Eicher at Lone Pine's done a huge amount of work for us. We really appreciate that. And that's pretty much all I got.
Good.
Thank you. That's Team 8. They're going out in 20th position, or 20th starting out of the gate. Team 7, Tyler Eggleston and Nick Olston. You guys get to pick from 21st through 28th.
21st.
21st. Does hey, that team that took first, did you want to trade out? We'll take it. They'll take it. 10 grand. Here, 10 grand.
Hey, thank you everybody for coming out here. First off, I need to thank my wife that's dealt with this. This will be my 19th year of doing this race, and it's pretty amazing. Nick's as well, and her and my family. Just amazing support that I get. Huge congratulations to Mark back there. Well deserved. Congratulations on this being inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's as he had kind of mentioned, there's a lot of some pretty cool stories from my first year at 18 years old doing it with him. I was still in high school, and he was picking me up from high school with the enclosed trailer to go riding in the afternoons. He'd pick me up at early up break or something, and we'd go riding. It's pretty awesome to see that now this full circle that he's in the Hall of Fame. Nick and I have some amazing sponsors. Foremost is Team CC and Skidoo. We couldn't do it without them, and all of our sponsors. And I don't want to kind of just run through them all. We'll be broadcasting on our page and stuff. But I want to say thanks to Iron Dog and all these villages that we go through and the amazing support that we get from all of them out there. I mean, really, without them and in the support they give us, none of this would be possible. Nick and I and a few other teams have started to go and pre-run, and they opened up their homes not only for this race, but 2-3 weeks ago for us to come through and with open arms allow us to come into their homes and treat us like celebrities there, and it's pretty amazing. And couldn't do it without them. And I really want to say Team 12 is riding for a pretty amazing cause. The suicide awareness that's out there in these villages is, to me, it's, in my 19 years of doing this race, it's a very pretty sad scenario that happens a lot out there, and it's a day-to-day life for these, some of these kids, and it's truly sad. And for them to hopefully shed some brightness on, some of these kids' life out there, and that it's worth living, it's a great cause.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife, Bree. She's not here tonight, but I'd also like to thank Mark. He definitely got me into it. I mean, it was pretty amazing. We won our first race and started riding 3 weeks before. And Matthew, he helped out a lot too. No, thanks a lot.
All right, guys. That's Team 7 going out 21st out of the gate. All right, now we're to our late draws. Team number 2, Jacob Dale and Lee Bauer. Is that correct? All right. Got that one right. '28 or 22nd to 28. They want number 23. Here, you guys can say sponsor thank yous.
I misunderstood the assignment. I didn't know I was supposed to come up here and talk. So I'd like to thank Polaris, Fly Racing, Woody's, CNA Pro Skis, Rigid Industries, Rugged Radios. Bruce Olson, he drove our sleds up here. He's been with me from the start, 7 years ago when we started racing. Dan Ellefson, he rode up as well. Thanks to my parents for letting me be here as well back in Wisconsin after I've told them the last 3 years I'm done racing, and here we are. And thanks to all the other racers and teams that have been helping us kind of along the way with all the questions and bullshit we've been kind of putting them through.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank my mom for watching my dog right now. Also, again, Bruce Olson, who's going to be a Hall of Famer in the lower 48 here for winning the 1980 I-500 from Winnipeg to St. Paul back then. Like I said, thanks for all the support. A lot of people have helped. We've asked a lot of dumb questions, but we're going to get through this.
All right, that's team number 22 and going out 23rd. Right. Team 2 going out 23rd. Sorry. Team 2 going out. All right, and we're up to Team 12. Douglas Wickens, Chris Collins. Douglas and Chris. Team 12. Hey, guys. So what do you want to do? You want to go 22? Your final answer. Got it. Here you go.
So most of you know that the cause at Running Foreigner, and it's very important, and we want to thank a lot of guys up north for it. Manila Behavioral Health Services, they were a big part of it. Also Northwest Arctic Borough. Team CC, Barb and Corey, they really helped out a lot. Team 7, thank you guys for everything that you've done. And also Team 8 and Guaco Racing, they really came in clutch. Also Bruce Nelson and Doug Swanson.
First of all, I got to say happy birthday to my son Roy. And then just thanks for everybody up north, you know, helped us get here. We're excited to be here. So, thanks.
Awesome, Team 12. Team 15. Tommy Germany and Brett Bond. Tommy and Brett. Team 15. Hey, guys. You want to go out 25? 25. They're going out 25.
I'd like to thank my wife, Cheryl, my daughter-in-law, Erica, my son, Jeff, for letting me be here. Israel Hale. Big time. Helped me a lot. My friend, Greg Bouillon, Billy and Chris, Three Lakes Truck out of Wisconsin, Oriental Machine, all the volunteers. Every year, I think for the last 2 or 3 years, I donated $1,000 for the first team out. Why? Because of the money that's spent, I feel for them people a lot. It should be more, but I'd like to thank the volunteers and Iron Dog. I don't know why I'm up here. I shouldn't be, but somebody talked me into it, and that's why I'm here. So thank you.
You gonna say anything? Yeah.
Come on, boy.
Yeah. Well, Tri-State Disposal, that's the reason why I'm here. I'd like to thank Tommy. Met him 4 years ago. Family and friends, my parents, my girlfriend Ivy, Peter and Elizabeth Turgent, Motorheads, Tommy's son Jeff, Israel for all your help, and all the volunteers. I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to it. Good luck to everybody. Thank you.
Good luck, Team 15. I'd like to add, Tommy had a gnarly get-off this past week training. He's got pictures. The whole side of his sled was taken off, so glad to see he's up and walking. He had a high-speed get-off. 11. Team 11, Joseph Hale and David Wagner. Joe and Dave. '24th? You're going 24th? All right, you're going 24th.
Are we okay with that?
You okay
Yep,
with that?
24th, that's right.
All right, that's where they're going.
Okay, he's already saying we're in trouble, but we're not actually. Really excited. I want to say that
I run the Iron Dog because I really love Alaska and I really love the outdoors and really like snow machining a ton. And I really like going out in the villages and driving through the villages. Last year when Israel and I were going through Buckland and up through Kayana and Kotzebue, there was hundreds of people out and 20, 30 people out at 3 o'clock in the morning holding up signs, waving to us, and having hot chocolate and stuff to drink and stuff going out through there. It was just way encouraging. We went into, what? I'm just talking about the villages. He's complaining I'm leaving him out already. But anyway, and I really like running the Iron Dog for that. And this year I'm really looking forward to just the challenge. I really enjoy it. And I want to thank my family. It's been a really great support. I want to thank Israel's been a really great support to us this year, helping us. I also want to thank White Spruce Trailers. They've been sponsored us. And I want to thank Dave Wagner for running with me this year. I'm really excited about running with him. We seem to ride really good together and really excited about that. And also want to thank Cindy. I know a lot of you know Cindy. Everybody knows Cindy. She does a lot of work for all of us out here. And she's just a great mental and physical support of the Iron Dog, and I want to thank her for that. And lots of the other sponsors that there are out there. And I want to thank the Iron Dog for putting it on and all the work that you guys all do. And the volunteers on the trail, when we come out in there and people flagging people, filling up our gas tanks, helping us out, we really appreciate that a lot. And I really appreciate that. And anyway, really looking forward to it. And I'm trying to figure out if I should change my gear out to a wetsuit and take a life jacket, but I'll figure that out tomorrow, I guess.
So our sponsors we want to thank is Polaris Racing, Snow Studs, Alaska Toy Rental, Taupe Transportation, BG of Alaska, White Spruce Trailers, Climb, Brian Fassbender, Sarah Palin. Is that it? Oh, and Dan Bush. And my wife.
And want to thank Taupe. He's Buzz, a great help to us this year. Don't want to leave him out wherever he's hiding out at. It's over there. He put our Mark Taupe put our sleds in his shop. He's been helping us build them, helping us do our shocks. He's amazing. Really, thank you a lot.
Team 11 going out 24th. Team number 38. Daniel Zimmerman and Jeff Stoll. You can choose between 26, 27, and 28. 26, 27, and 28, or 28, 27, and 26. Where do you want to go? 28th. Here you go, guys.
First of all, I'd like to thank Iron Dog and
get it closer to your face.
And so many people just here in Alaska that have helped us out. Been a big hurdle since we've showed up, late sled, just a lot of things, but thanks to so many people here helping us out. Iron Dog Group, we've had to make a few posts, and people have come through, got us lights, GPSs, blah, blah, blah. Also, I'd like to thank sponsors, Circle Bar, 8 Ranch, Tubi, Outerwear. We got Snow Studs, Fly High Fire Starters, so many. Just grateful for the opportunity. Good luck, everybody.
You know, they always say, if you're going to publicly speak, you should have a little bit of a joke. But it's not a joke. But I'm going to say this anyway. Hi, my name is Dan.
Hi, Dan.
And I'm an Iron Dogger from Minnesota. And y'all should go to a meeting. Because this is the craziest thing I've ever endured in my life. But I just want to say, you guys, all of you teams, from Danny Gueco to Team CC, Dave Bogart, our host family, that works at Team CC have just been great. All the other teams that have come forward, we've had some highs and lows, and I'll tell you what, you guys rock it. Just a couple of my sponsors are Shore Station Boat Lifts and Shorelander Trailers out of Ida Grove, Iowa. Northern Shores Boat Storage in Minnesota, Nisswa. And G-Boost Drive Belts. Hide and watch, boys. Thank you.
Thank you. Team 38 hitting the trail out of 28. Team number 44. Kyle Kaus, Ashley Wallace. Kyle, Kaus, and Ashley. Krause? I haven't pronounced the name right all night. Where do you want to go out?
26.
26. 26, you agree?
Yeah. Who's up first?
Ashley, you're up first.
I just want to thank my race partner for stepping up to run the race with me this year.
Right here, keep going.
Oh.
There you go, right there.
I lost a buddy of mine named Frank Flegel about a year ago. He and I had talked about running this race a couple of times, but it just never happened. So I just wanted to run this race in honor of him and the dream that we had of running it together. But anyway, thank you.
I guess thank you guys for staying. First and foremost, I got to thank my wife for putting up with this. Our garage is a disaster. Our house is a disaster. Our sponsors, Bigfoot Pumping and Thawing, North Star Supply, Hydrate Alaska, Team Barber Racing, Shane. I switched from Arctic Cat in previous years. Shane called me, set me up with everything I needed for the Polarises. Alaska Concrete Sawing, Anchorage Yamaha Polaris, Climb, Vision X, Woody's Traction, AME, Northern Power, my son Devin, Tanner, the Welshes, the Wallaces, my dad, my aunt and uncle Kirk and Dana Krause, Boots, Kelly Summer, he's been a huge help, Brad Helwig, Howard Darling, Doug Dixon at Fine Line. He's literally one of the only ones you hear every single racer say his name. He's phenomenal. And I want to thank Uncle Dave for flying for us.
All right. Congratulations. Team 44. Last but not least is going to be Team 4. And they're going out in 27th position. Team 4, come on up. Jimmy Baldwin and Stephen Williamson. Laura's got something to say to you guys.
You don't have to work at Red Dog. Just want to say good luck to you guys, and we're very proud of you. And from Kayana and Norvik, local community, and it's pretty awesome. I'm very excited.
Hey, first off, I want to thank everybody that make an event like this possible. It's huge. So, yep, thanks everyone. Yeah, we'll get into sponsors. I want to be able to say thanks to Arctic Cat, Bubba Grub out in Norvik, Northern Power Sports. Them guys are huge. Northwest Arctic Bureau. We got Climb. City of Kayana. Randy Kangas back there. He helped us build the sleds. Also, my younger brother Brad. He built sleds with us. I haven't seen Danny Goico out here, but he's been building shocks for me last couple of years, and I want to say thanks to Danny. and my wife. Want to thank her, my family.
We pretty much got the same sponsors. So I'd like to thank them guys and my girlfriend and my family, my mom, my aunts, and my sisters, Northwest Arctic Borough, Arctic Cat. Northern Power Sports, they're pretty good. I like them guys. I'd like to thank them guys a bunch. And let's see, Wolf Creek Sales, my Uncle Jim for asking me to run with him this year. I'd like to thank him a bunch. Bubba Grub, and all of them. Thanks.
All right, that was Team 4. All right, as usual, I always put a spin on things, and I really put a spin on this one. The prize money. I'm going to do that again because I made a big mistake, and it's all me. And it's wrote down right here. So, okay, I'm going to do it again. Ready? First place, $45,000. Second place, $35,000. Third place, $23,000 or $25,000. Fourth place, $15,000. Fifth place, $10,000. Sixth through 10th pays $5,000 per team, not each. And I said each before, it's per team. So if your partner doesn't agree with you and just wants the money, he can get $25,000 or $2,500, and your partner can say, keep the money, I'm going to use mine for the registration for the Iron Dog for the following year. So that's the clarification. It's $5,000 for 2 people, and that's from 6th to 10th all the way down. So that brings us pretty much the conclusion or the closure of our program here for the 2022 Iron Dog Award Ceremony. We inducted 2 guys, 2 very well-known snow machiners that have done an amazing job for this sport and have brought a lot to the table as not just snow machine racers, but to the community and everything that they represent. That's Mark McKenna. And Jim Wilkie. Congratulations, guys. That's a heck of an honor. My name's Beagle Jarvis. I'll see you at the start. Tomorrow we got a day off. Get some rest. Make sure you hydrate and stay healthy, and we'll see you all on Saturday. Thanks, everybody. Have fun tonight.